I'm late. And I don't know how to share it. Okay. So let's go ahead and pray. I thank you that I know who I am, what I want, where I'm going, and how to get there. I thank you for blessing me with a soul family that sees me, knows me, loves me, guides me, corrects me, and protects me along this journey. I thank you for everything inside of me and everything that surrounds me. I thank you for everything I've been, everything I am, everything I will be. I thank you for everything I'm gone through, everything I'm going through, and everything I will get through. I thank you, and in your powerful, wonderful, amazing, and precious name I pray. Amen. What is up, creations and creators? I am Patrice Renee of Divine Operation University, aka Do You, a learning environment for all of us world changers who are tired of supposed to, where we create the lives that are really on our hearts and in the process leave the world more beautiful than we found it. Hi. So I'm late. I know, I get it, but I had to stop and get my pills because I was looking at myself in the little screen or whatever, like, oh no, this is my face. I love how I go back and forth, and yeah, some days you can't tell me nothing, and other days it's like, wait a minute, what happened? Where did it go? Which reminds me of something my brother just posted. He's like, oh, you know, he was happy just a minute ago, and then something came and just kind of affected his mood and stuff like that. And I was telling him, you know, emotions are meant to flow. We're supposed to allow them to do that and sit in whatever space that we're in and let that be what it is and learn from it, and then know that that will pass as well. So I think I need to apply that to my perceptions also, because, you know, perceiving myself at any given moment can be different from what I thought it was. Like, even when I take selfies and stuff, like, I'll look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh hey, so cute, and then I'll take a picture and be like, wait a minute, that's not what I saw. So I think perceptions can do that same kind of flow that happens, you know, with your emotions. So yeah, that's my little takeaway for the moment. Just a little download for the moment, in case you were wondering what's going on in my mind, and that's it. But yeah, how was your week? How's everyone's week been? I know that mine has been a little bit of a roller coaster. Had some health issues and stuff like that. But before I even get into that, I wanted to laugh about the fact that I ask how everyone's week has been, because I started doing that even before this came about. But my cousin, she was relaying to me why she enjoyed my lives and stuff, or why I was a good fit, and she's like, oh, you're so personable, you know, you ask everyone how their week has been and stuff. And I thought it was so cute that that was her takeaway from the conversations that we have. So I make sure to ask that question and make sure that that is a part of our conversation and our show, quote unquote. I just want to, there we go, remove some of the, did that work? Not really. To remove some of the headspace. It's a lot going on up there, but okay. So yeah, how's your week been? I apologize in advance for the Tic Tacs. Told y'all I had to, oh well, that helped too, to make me feel a little bit more like myself. Maybe if we do some of this. My week has been a bit of a roller coaster. I did have some health issues early in the week, but I guess I was kind of prepared for it, because I did my tarot reading for myself for the week, and one of the main messages was to listen to my body. And that was on Monday. The following day, Tuesday, well, it kind of started on Monday, but it really hit me on Tuesday. I just, my body was screaming at me. It was not happy with me. And so I had to take a moment to rest, and basically spent the entire day in the bed, because I just wasn't feeling well. I couldn't, I didn't eat anything, which I believe is something my body had been asking for a while, was for me to fast. And there was a point in time where I was fasting every single week, a 24-hour fast every single week. And I've been striving to get back to that place, but I haven't made it a priority. And so I know for sure that that is something that I would like to reincorporate into my life, because I did not have any issues, not like the one that I had, or any other health issues for the most part in 2019, when weekly fasts were a part of my just life. It was just a part of what I did, no matter what. I think the reason why I've struggled with that as of late is because I'm around a whole lot more people. I interact with a whole lot more people, and to have to explain, or I don't have a desire to explain, right? A part of the fast that I was doing then was the spiritual fast, and part of fasting in that way is that you don't discuss it. It's not something that you disclose or complain about or anything like that, because it kind of takes away from the practice of it. You're just meant to go about your day, live your life, and do what you got to do, understanding that you're being sustained by something greater than you, by a higher power. And so it was very helpful mentally, spiritually, physically as well. Now I'm learning now that it was helpful physically. And so I guess I can allow myself the grace to know that I've experienced it in that way. And maybe this time a part of that journey is being able to speak boldly about what it is that I'm doing with the people that are around me, the people that love me. Basically, the issue is that their concerns kind of persuade me to fall in line, right? I think most of them would attribute me fasting to my wanting to lose weight or something like that. And everyone around me kind of thinks that not eating is unhealthy. Despite evidence of the benefits of fasting, I think because I'm already doing intermittent fasting and I'm already vegetarian, moving towards a more, I don't even want to say vegan or plant-based, but moving out of whatever. I'm becoming a patricitarian, and, you know, I think all of those things combined might make them think that I'm doing it for ulterior motives other than what it is that I'm expressing. And so I think me trying to anticipate that and try to account for that is contrary to what my body is asking me to do and what it is that I need to do for myself. And so I need to stand firm in what it is that I know is true for me, and doing this fast and fasting weekly and regularly and being able to express that will be a part of that journey, my overall journey, which I love how everything is so interconnected. It's just, I love it. It's juicy. But yeah, so that's part of my week. I also stuck to, for the most part, the affirmations that we talked about as our practical practice for this past week. I wonder if y'all were out there doing it. Were y'all doing your affirmations? Were y'all speaking life into yourself? Just shifting your mindset? Were you doing it? Were you participating? What were you doing? What did you say? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Some of my affirmations came from, I don't have the book with me, but Heal Your Body. Because I was dealing with some issues, I pulled some of the affirmations that were out of there that are meant to help to shift your mindset, because there is a physical mental connection between your ailments and your mind. So the affirmations are meant to help clear that out and make it so that, you know, you can heal your body from just thinking differently, which I love. And so I incorporated some of those affirmations. I incorporated some of the statements that are within the prayer, as well as my mission statement for my business, which are also the actual program steps and the framework itself. So the I know who I am, what I want, where I'm going, and how to get there, all of that, and any subsequent concepts that are attached to that were contributed to my affirmations for this past week. Matter of fact, let's just read them for you so you guys know. It says, I am releasing supposed to and should. I am a creator. I know what's on my heart. I am in the process. I am beautiful inside and out. I know who I am, what I want, where I'm going and how to get there. I declare, design, define, decide everything in my life. I am positive and present. The tables have turned in my favor. It's okay to make noise. I express myself freely and joyously. I speak up for myself with ease. I express my creativity. I'm willing to change. I release all restrictions and I am free to be me. I open my heart and sing the joys of love. So those were the things I was saying throughout the week. I can say honestly that I did not do every single day this week, which was my plan at the top of the week. But as I've said, I was not feeling my very best. And so some things kind of fell by the wayside. But prior to and as I recovered, I tried to fall back in line with my affirmations. So I can attest to the fact that they are powerful, because I think I told y'all this last week. Prior to, I did have like an issue with a sore throat, and I spoke those affirmations, and it definitely helped for the swelling, which I believe was like lymph nodes. But it helped for the swelling to go down, the scratchiness dissipated, like everything just kind of went away after about a day or two of saying those affirmations. So do with that what you will, but for me it works. And even in this moment, I feel a whole lot better having just said those. So just shifting your mindset, allowing those things to circulate through your mind in addition to, or instead of the things that are usually up there. Just making you feel a way about yourself or the world around you, that are making your perceptions different from what they need to be in order for you to see the world around you, in order for you to see what needs to be seen, in order for you to make the steps and make the changes that you need to make in your life, or that you want to make in your life, right? It makes me sorry, I need to hydrate. But it very much makes me think of, I was going through just yesterday old pictures and voice notes, voice memos, because I record so many of those, and a lot of them are actually songs. I like to write songs that no one will ever hear except for myself and my best friend, my mom, maybe my sister, but no one else really knows much about that. But I mostly just my best friend, because he writes songs as well, and we just kind of play around with that. But it's a lot of fun to get certain things off my mind and to a melody, and I usually do it when I'm in the car driving off somewhere. And so half the stuff that I have in there you can't even hear, because not that the engine's so loud, but everything within the car is just so loud that it's picking up all of that and not so much my voice. So some of them are just lost, which, there are several that were on my mind that never made it even to the voice memo. So there's plenty of that's happening. If it's meant to come back up, it will. But one of them that I heard and was reminded of just yesterday after listening was one that I was writing to my mind. Before I share it, just know that I'm not well versed at singing, but I'm also someone who believes that we can all do things, all the things that we say that we can't, right? Like everything is learnable. So I don't sing well, but I can sing, and I'm learning to sing even better. Oh, what's happening here? I didn't even know. Okay, so anyways, the song goes, why you so damn mean to me? You mean everything to me, and without me you would not be. So why you so damn mean to me? When I say I write songs, I write choruses, I write hooks, right? Some of them are complete, but for the most part it's just choruses. So that is my fun time. But yeah, that's a message to the mind to just like chill, be like, we in this together. You don't have to be so rough. You don't have to be so rough. We can do this together if we don't have to be mean. We don't have to be nasty. Let's work together. So that's my little my little thing. If you hear that anywhere else, know that you heard it here first. Okay. What else do we have? Last week we talked about productivity. And I've kind of just let myself think about that even further. And I think I've concluded that the reason why I struggle and I'm having this internal battle is because where does this idea of productivity even come from, right? Where does this idea of having to produce and make and churn out even come from? And I know it has something to do with a system that I no longer want to participate in. And even a system that has kind of, everyone says that this system in particular is capitalism, right? That it fell to pieces. Okay, now I can't remember if people are saying it's 2008 or 2020. I want to say 2020, but we'll leave all of that to someone else to have the discussion. Clearly, that's not my forte. What I would like to talk about is the fact that it's the whole concept of, or the way in which capitalism has been pushed onto us has required us to always be making, right? Always be doing. One of the reasons why I just am terrible at social media is because I'm not on it like that. And I don't, as a business owner and someone who's trying to build a business or a following, I don't necessarily want to contribute to this idea that you always have to be producing and people can like consume so much of, or they have to always have more to consume, right? I just don't want that to be, I don't want to fall into that trap myself and always have to be producing in order to maintain a following. So me trying to build one in that way just doesn't feel conducive to the life I actually want to live. And I've been explaining to people around me that my philosophy is that you have to, whatever it is that you want, start participating in it now. Just allow it to be the world that you live in. Open that door, right? Walk into this space that now does not require you to do the things that you may have been told in that old space that is how you can proceed. So for me, I would like to do more just for myself, just to push myself and show myself that I'm capable. But I don't want to be someone who has to post every day and definitely not multiple times a day, because I just won't be able to sustain that. I can say that right now. And I know that there are a lot of creators over the last couple of years who have expressed that for themselves. Like, this is just not sustainable. You get the same burnout as a content creator when you're churning something out all day, every day, as you would being climbing the corporate ladder, right? I think a lot of people have experienced that in their 9-to-5s, and which is why we have this great walkout. Is that what they're calling it? The great, no, not walkout. The great, y'all know what I'm talking about. Resignation. That's what it is. The great resignation, where everyone is quitting their jobs to leave that because they don't feel appreciated, don't feel valued, and they feel like they have to keep going in order to get to the top or whatever it is that they're striving for. In order for them to get there, they have to push harder and harder and harder, and it feels like the goalpost continues to move. And I think if you jump out of that pan and into the flame of content creation, you'll find that you're in the same battle, except now you don't have anything to fall back on. It's just you against the world at this point. So when it comes to my philosophy in life in general and what it is that I'm teaching others through Divine Operation University, it's that you can create the life that's really on your heart. And on my heart is not a life where I am tied to my phone and contributing to people's overconsumption of social media and the content that's being created. So I would like to get to a place where it becomes a part of my lifestyle, wherein I have things that I want to share with the world, and I'm not forcing myself to figure out ways in which I can be more active on social media, that it just becomes a part of my routine. And so to do that, I know that it's going to require me to be more conscious and proactive in incorporating that into my life, which means that yes, I'll have to produce a little bit more than I am currently, but my goal is not to be excessive. So I'm being gentle with myself in this, in my pursuit of that, and doing better in, you know, being a content creator. I mean, that's what it is. So let me not be that guy. But yeah, that's what's been going on this week. That's just the week. That's as far as we've gotten, y'all. We just moving on to the topics of the day. If no one else has anything to add, let me see. Oh, nope. Okay. I was going to see if I could share it, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to social or internet. I'm not very good at it. Somebody teach me the ways of the samurai, would you please? Okay, thanks. So let's see. I have a couple of topics to discuss. And before we get there, how about we go over the cards from last week? So the 3 that we had was, who told you that was truth? Keep the promise you made to yourself and let it come to you. So did anyone discover any truths this past week? I think I've shared a couple with you guys, and nothing else is really coming to mind. I'm sure, you know, over time it'll reveal itself. I try to keep these things continuously in the back of my mind because they're great reminders, great things to think about and consider as you're going about your day. But yeah, just knowing that I have more work to do is one of the truths. And I told myself that. I got that from my soul family. I got that from source. I got that from, you know, messaging that came into me because of my soul family reaching out to me and wanting me to know that, hey, you're doing great, but there's a little bit more to do. So just keep going, keep moving forward, right? So yeah, that was one of the truths that I got. I think even with the productivity, asking myself, where does that come from, would be answering the question of, who told you it was true that you had to produce all day, every day in order to be successful, right? That's kind of the vein and the tone that card takes, because I wrote it myself, right? So I would know. But who told you that whatever it is that you're holding on to as a truth was the truth, and why do you choose to hold on to it if it is not conducive to the life that you're trying to live, to creating the life that's really on your heart, to making the world far more beautiful than you found it, right? What else? Keep the promise you made to yourself. So that came up this week for me as a reminder for a friend. So for some of these things that come up, it might just be the language and the words that you need to share with somebody else, to allow them to connect with whatever it is that you're saying, the message that you have for them, the advice that you have for them. I could just be the wordsmith that gives you that language so that they actually hear it when it comes from you, right? And so that's how that played out for me. As far as keep the promise you made to yourself, I have been doing a 21-day detox with my best friend. And we both have different things that we're eliminating from our diets. I myself was doing dairy so that I could kind of just play around with this feeling and idea and path of, veganism, but also because listening to my body, I know that that's something I was meant to eliminate for a while now. So it's not going to stop me from having pizza tomorrow, because that is my absolute favorite food, and I don't like vegan cheese, which is why I say I'm not going to be a vegan. I'm not going to be plant-based. My goal is to be a patricitarian and to eat what makes me happy in that moment, or what I feel as though would be the best choice for my body in that moment. And so don't mind me when you see me with a stuffed crust mushroom pizza tomorrow. But as of today, it is our last day, and it was like Friday or something when my best friend wanted to let that fall by the wayside. We had already made it to this point, and he was like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna have bread. That was one of the things that he was giving him. I'm just gonna have some, or chicken. He wanted meat. That was one of the other things that he gave up. But he's like, I'm gonna have chicken or bread or pasta. He wanted pizza on Friday. I'm like, no, we're almost there. Keep the promise you made to yourself. Like, you're almost done. And he had just got finished talking about how his word never comes back void when he's talking to other people, right? Like, other people can count on him and rely on him. When he says he's gonna do something, that's what he's gonna do. So I was like, hey, you can do that for other people. Do it for yourself. Why wouldn't you? Keep the promise you made to yourself. You can do that for everyone around you. I know that for a fact. So why not do that for yourself? And hopefully it clicked. He said he's good, but you know, people do what they want to do when you're not around. He literally said in that moment, like, yeah, I'm gonna do what I want to do tomorrow because you're not gonna be here to tell me not to. So, you know, he said he was good, but we'll see. Either way, I said what needed to be said in that moment, at least to my understanding. And then the final one was let it come to you, which is just how I live my life. I allow the answers and the messages and the blessings to flow. I just let it come to you, right? I hope that all of those things came up for you at some point during this week, however it came. I'd love to hear about it. So leave a comment here, now, whenever, or you can email me. Which one? But do you at gmail.com. BUTTYOUDOU@gmail.com. And so, yeah, those were the cards that we had this past week. And of course, just in a few, we will be pulling some more for this coming week because life goes on, right? We got to keep going, got to keep moving. So let's see. This week, I wrote down 3 topics, but y'all know how that goes. We've been doing this for a little bit now. Let's see. The first one says, it's all choice. I write these down throughout the week, so sometimes they don't connect exactly the way that I meant for them to when I first wrote them down, or I can't remember why exactly I thought that would be a good thing to talk about. So it's all choice. I'm gonna say it feels very much like we have decisions to make, right? So if you know that you have a question, an idea, a thought, if you know that you have a question, you have an idea, you have a desire to better understand something about yourself or the world around you, then you have choices to make, right? There's decisions that need to be made in order for you to get closer to that. And if you decide to do nothing, or if you decide to do something that is contrary to that, that is a choice, right? That's something that you have decided to do at the end of the day. And in that, by the end of it, right, or by the time that question arises again, or you know, you feel like maybe you start to question yourself or your place in life, or whatever the case, when you're reflecting once again, if you feel like, okay, I haven't made any progress, understand that that was a choice that you made not to progress, right? You made the choice to decide, hey, I'm not doing what it is that I want to do. I'm not seeing my life shift in any way. And you know, while knowing that you haven't asked any questions, you haven't answered any questions that you might have, you haven't made any steps forward towards whatever it is that you want to do in finding whatever those steps are, right? You've just decided that that desire is where you're going to stay. Does that make sense? This is not for anyone who is making progress and they feel like they're stagnant, who is making steps and moving and doing something and feel like they're stagnant. This is not who I'm talking to in this, right? I'm talking to anyone who might feel like they desire something different for their life, whatever that is, whether it's just I don't have a life at all and I want to do something differently, but you're not doing anything differently. Whether it is I don't like my relationship, but you're not doing anything to change that. I don't enjoy my job or my career, and you're not doing anything to shift that. I don't like my physical body. I don't like my mental state. I don't like my room. It's a hot ass mess. But you're not doing anything to make any changes in any of those areas. I want to see more of this in society. I want to, I think that we could all do things differently and change our mindsets, right? Somebody who believes in everything that I believe in and are choosing not to make any changes within themselves, which is a step, right? Just changing yourself is a step, probably the most essential in my belief. They're not sharing that message with anyone around them. They're not looking up ways in which that might already be happening, where people are encouraging others to shift their mindset. You have a choice to make these desires a part of your world right now and today, if you so choose. But it makes that your responsibility, that you have to then choose that. You have to decide that that's what you want to do. You have to decide to do, right? Which is a struggle in saying, because I've been getting a lot of messaging and a lot of understanding for myself about this whole idea of a human being just existing. But we're also here on mission, right? And the reason why you have the discomfort, the nagging desire in the back of your mind, this thought that keeps coming up, there's a reason for it. And it may be that it's a part of your mission. It may be that it's, a part of change that you're meant to affect, whether within yourself, someone else that you may know, or just the world around you, the people outside of you, the society at large. You may be a catalyst to change. But we're not going to know if you don't choose to participate in that, right? So that's what I'm getting from that. It may have been more. It may have been something different when I wrote it down, but that's what I get from reading It's All Choice. You have a choice. And I need you to make it. I need you to make it, right? My desire in all of this is to empower each of us to participate in the world that we want to live in, because I know that for many of you, anyone who is connected to this, anyone who is hearing my voice, anyone who is watching this as of right now, you are a part of my soul family, right? Even if it is just for this message alone, you're a part of my soul family, and it was meant for you to hear this so that you can do your part, so that you can become everything that you were created to be. There's so much that is inside of you that needs to be brought out and unpacked and realized, made real in this world. You could be, like I said, the catalyst for change, and therefore something that you create could be the seed that someone else needs in order to do their part. But it starts with a choice that you make to do your part. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Love yourself is my only advice. Okay, so this one, love yourself, is my only advice. I feel like this will probably need its own, but I'll say this. To love yourself is not about saying I love you in the mirror, right? It's part of it. That's an element. But that isn't it. I'm referring to the practice of loving yourself and the ways in which we talk about romantic love, when we're talking about relationships and marriages and all that stuff, which, whoo, child, that could be its own conversation, right? That could be its own thing. But when we talk about that, we know that there are so many elements that are involved with a healthy love, or the love that many of us desire. Right? There's communication, there's honesty, there's patience, There's a showing of love. There are practical ways in which you can show love, and each of us are going to receive it differently, which we talk about those 5 love languages. But even within those 5, there are so many different ways that people might receive that. I love a good gift, but I don't want it to be, I don't need red bottoms, right? That's not going to make me feel like, oh, this person loves me. It's a gift and they're nice, sure, but I would rather a handwritten note. But that's just me, right? There's someone else down the street who don't give them no fucking note. What the fuck is this? Right? So we might have or even, you know, my little crafty fuck it pills. I felt like that was a great gift for me because it included something crafty, something handmade. It was something that, you know, spoke to a struggle that I have within myself that I need support in. And this person said, hey, I support you. Not only do I support you, but I see you and I love you as you are. So let me help you out in becoming everything that you desire to be, right? That's what that gift said to me. And that to me is what speaks love. And so if each of us have this different way of receiving love from people outside of ourselves, imagine receiving love in that way from yourself. In that way, in all those ways, right? So we talked about part of romantic love being communication. How often do you communicate with yourself in the ways that you would want someone else to communicate with you? How often do you listen to yourself, right? Part of active communication is active listening, or healthy communication is active listening, right? How often do you stop and actively listen to your mind, body, and spirit, which is how I define self, which that definition is expanding, but as of today, we'll just refer to the mind, body, and spirit, right? Which are 3 different entities within the entity of self, your personhood, your mind, body, and spirit. And I have become far more well versed in my physical body language, the language that my body speaks to me directly, right? You all might see the physical gestures and how I adorn my body and everything like that. That's how my body language communicates to you. But within myself, I have feelings, I have sounds. My stomach is making noises right now as we speak, right? I have feelings. Like I said, I was having issues with my throat. I have health problems and things like that. Those are ways in which that our bodies communicate with us. The changing of our skin and the ways in which our body is able to function. These are ways that our bodies are communicating with us. So how often do you actually listen to that? Or do you dismiss it as, oh, I'm just tired, or, I've been working too hard? Do you do anything with that information, you being tired? Or do you just say, hey, I'll get through it. I always do. Let me keep powering through whatever it is that I was working on. Let me just keep going. Let me push forward and do what it is that I have to do. Let me continue to eat that dairy because I've always been able to handle it. It might give me a little bit of issues in the moment, but I'll be fine. But you're not paying attention to the sinus issues that you might have that are attached to the mucus that's being overproduced because you're eating the dairy. Does that make sense? So much is interconnected, like we always say. So much of it is interconnected and tied together, but you'll get those messages, the individual messages, or you'll start to see that interconnectedness when you allow your body to speak and you actually listen. That was another thing. So for myself, I always bring it back to me because why not? But also just to show that, I'm not, I recognize these things, I hear these things, and I'm doing my best to live in this way, but it's not perfect, right? I'm a work in progress. And so what that has looked like for me is that I realized that I'm often silencing my body as opposed to listening. Okay, so what that means is I will when, like I said, my stomach is making noises right now, which I have attributed to hunger, right? And it could just be in there processing, doing what it is that it needs to do in order to break down all the stuff that I've already taken in, right? And so because I've conditioned myself to hear that as processing, I'm just going to go ahead and stuff my face so that my stomach can shut up, right? Or if I have pains and stuff like that, aches and pains, I'm going to pop a pain, well, I haven't in a while, but we might pop a pain pill in order to silence the pain as opposed to addressing what the issue is, right? And as opposed to stopping to listen, ask that pain, hey, what's going on? Why are you feeling that way? Why are you expressing in this way? It sounds crazy, I know, but why, right? Why have we decided? Who told you it was truth? There you go. Who told you it was truth to feel crazy, to ask your body questions, or not to listen to your body? And in that, turning off my mind, because another part of silencing my body is allowing my mind to answer for it, or allowing my mind to talk over my body. When I sit to meditate, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this, when you sit to meditate and then your mind just starts racing and telling you all the things that you have to go do, and the things that you could be doing right now, using this time for, or, you know, even if your stomach does gurgle or whatever, and you're like, hey, I need to go eat something, I'm really hungry, and now you're just focused on thinking about hunger or the food that you're going to eat, the meal that you're about to make, right? As opposed to silencing your mind in some way, shape, or form, even if it has to happen repeatedly, where you say, okay, I thought those thoughts and now let me get back to this, and you start counting your breaths or something, or you start listening just to your breath. That's a form of listening to your body, right? Because your spirit and your mind aren't necessarily breathing, just your body. You start listening to those gurgling sounds and asking, like, hey, what's going on in there? What's happening? Can you paint a picture, right? With your eyes closed, maybe you can see something differently. Or you can just lean into the feelings. I had even one night this week where I was like crazy hot, super duper hot, and I could not sleep. I was tossing and turning because I was so hot. And it's like, okay, this is clearly something that my body wants me to pay attention to. And so I have to continue to stop and ask, what's going on? Why is that? Or even like feeling like my knee is giving me some issues. I have to continue to stop and ask what's going on. Not and I have to continue to do it because I can't quite understand what's being communicated just yet. But I know that asking and listening does help to alleviate both of those issues that I just expressed, right? In the moment. So they come back because I haven't actually done anything to make changes as far as I know. But asking in the moment does help to help my body feel heard and seen and valued, as opposed to feeling silenced. And so I'm not 100% sure if that's what I meant when I wrote it down, but that's what we're going to go with. So listen, treat yourself, mind, body, and spirit, whichever one might be the lowest rung for you. Or, you know, wherever you are in that cycle. I'm sure at any given moment, we all give each of these things time and energy. But wherever you are in that cycle, take a moment to listen to it and treat it as if you would want your significant other to treat you as a whole. Treat these separate entities in that way. Buy them gifts. Talk to them. Communicate with them. Hear them, right? Allow them to express in all the different ways. But ultimately, loving yourself is the goal. Loving your whole self, capital S, is the goal. And you know how to do that because you know how you want to be loved. So just apply that to the different parts of self. And I think I'll stop there. I had one more, but we kind of touched on it earlier because my incense is now out, which means we're at least 45 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and pull Lil Homie. Y'all know Lil Homie. And 31 meditation method cards. Both of these are available. You can get a free download of the 31 meditation methods cards, or you can purchase your very own custom Lil Homie card deck in my Etsy shop, which I opened this past week as well. So yeah. In the meantime, the practical practice for this week I've decided is to just start. Okay. A lot of us have issues with feeling like things need to be perfect. Things need to happen in a certain way. We have to prepare. We have to know certain things. We have to have certain things before we can begin. And a lot of what you need will come to you and be revealed to you when you just start. Whatever starting looks like for you. It may be answering questions. It may be asking questions. It may be gathering resources. It may be taking those actual steps with what it is that you have and believing that it is enough because you are enough. Believing that it is enough because you are enough. Just start. Just begin. That is our practical practice for this week. Whatever it is, whatever comes to mind when I say it, you know what it is. Start. That's something I've had to work through for myself quite a bit over the years, multiple times. Almost every time I've been tasked with something. It's about just starting and allowing the answers to reveal themselves. Let it come to you, right? That was one of the meditation methods that came up for us this week. 3 of them came out, so those cards have a lot to say. I haven't been able to shuffle Lil Homie just yet, but we're working on it. So yeah, just start. That's our practical practice for today. Whatever it is, whether you didn't do the affirmations this past week and you want to start doing affirmations, whether you're not someone who meditates and you want to start meditating, whether you are someone who feels like you are trying to start a business and you don't know where to begin, just start. Start with a business plan. Start with telling people that this is what you're going to do. Start with creating a piece. If you're a designer or an artist or something, start with just creating a piece. Start with that hobby. Start with, listen, they don't play. Lil Homie does not play. Okay, start with cleaning up and organizing and getting rid of things. Start with those seeds that you said you were going to start planting food. Start planting. Start with, I'm looking around the room just trying to find things that you could start with. Start with changing up your style. You said that you want to get out there more. Start with going to a coffee shop, the local coffee shop. Start with getting in the car. Right? Start. Now is the time to start. Okay, so I'm going to say that that's what we have for today. We have 4 cards come up this time. Mutter a mantra. Okay? The idea is that you walk around muttering to remember and focus your energy and attention on the words you choose. There's that word again. Today, you'll create a mantra and mutter it throughout the day. You can acknowledge synchronized numbers. So anytime you see a number like 1111, mutter a mantra. The numbers are a great way to get random cues throughout the day and get you back on track, but you don't have to use numbers. If you're looking to boost your confidence, you can try saying, I'm confidence personified, anytime you see the color yellow. Make up your mantra and your cue and be vigilant. It takes a moment to get used to it, but once you get going, it's really hard to stop, which is true. That prayer that we say at the top of our conversation, I started saying just by seeing synchronized numbers, right? And so that is something that I do all the time now, whether I guess I want to or not. I always want to, but it is difficult to stop doing it. I might try that color one. Anytime I see, let's go with yellow. Anytime I see the color yellow, I will say, I am confidence personified. Or you can do any and all mantras that you might say, or those affirmations that we had. But either way, it's just meant to serve as a reminder for you in the background. Just keep that in the back of your head. Oh, this is a challenge that I'm giving myself to remind myself, hey, whenever I see blue, I know I need to speak up. I need to, if I'm in a situation where I don't feel confident expressing myself and I see anything in the room that is blue, I know that I'm being supported in using my voice and speaking my mind, right? So use it to remind you that you're not alone, that you are heard, that you that a lot of these things aren't coincidental. That's how I think about it. The next one we have is find the thread. And I know these are backwards, but I just have to show you so that you know. Find the thread. And this is just showing us that it's all interconnected, right? That's essentially what this card is about. It's all interconnected. The things that you are experiencing and going through and what people are saying, all of it is connected. And maybe this muttering a mantra is going to help you to see that more clearly throughout your day. And like I said, let it come to you came out again. So just be prepared to allow the thread to reveal itself to you. Allow those reminders to reveal themselves to you. Going back to muttering a mantra, if you are going to use the colors, I would encourage you to look into the chakras, the 7 different chakras that we are all kind of gravitating towards. I know there's so many more of those, especially depending on the different disciplines that you look into. But if you start with the 7, then you can kind of connect that color to what those chakras mean. And that way you can have that in the back of your mind as you're developing your mantra in and of itself. And then the last card, Lil Homie said, keep the promise you made to yourself. Okay, get started. Keep the promise you made. You said you were gonna do it, so do it. What you waiting for? Nope, it's not gonna happen. Start. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to say about it, is that I am currently in a position where I have the time, space, and energy, things that I have prayed for countless times, right? Time, space, and energy to create all of the projects that have been in my head. All of them. I have all of the time in the world. I have all of the space because now it's warm outside. I can actually go outside and work on all the big projects. And I have that physical and spiritual energy to actually complete the things, right? But I don't necessarily have the funds, right? I'm still trying to figure out how to afford each and every one of those projects that might be on my mind. And so I just want to remind you that it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be absolutely the way that in your head it is supposed to be, right? In order for you to do the things that you want to do. So just start now when it is what it is, because it's always just going to be what it is, right? Even when you get to that place that you think is the perfect position in order for you to do what it is that you want to do, you will see in that thread, right, that everything that you did to get there is what you needed in order for it to be what it is. Does that make sense? It was never going to be that way without you having started at some point, at that point that you started, or any point before where it is. I hope this is making sense, because this is it, right? So you need to start now so that you can get there. Otherwise, you're not going to get there. The part that's in your head, right? The part that your expectations are telling you is what you need in order to do everything that you want to do. You don't need it. You need to do what it is that you're meant to do right now with what you have, because it is enough, because you are enough, right? Do what you need to do with everything that you have right now so that you can get to the part that's in your head. Don't worry about not being where your mind, brain is telling you, where society is telling you need to be in order to be all the things that you have decided that you are, that you know that you are. Don't worry about that, because that is irrelevant. What it is what it is. So work with what you got. Start now. And keep the promise that you made to yourself. Okay? Okay. So that is what we have for this week's Clarity Conversation. I definitely feel a whole lot clearer. I feel a whole lot better. I am so thankful to you guys for joining me this week. Any and all who decide to watch the replay, thank you so very much for sharing your energy with me. I do it for us. I love you. I thank you. And until next time, bye.